He said, hey, man, I would have booed me too.
Yeah.
That's terrible. It happens. And guess what? 24 hours later, Craig Counsell says, no, I'm not going to sit you down. I believe in you. Let's go. And he got it done.
Isn't that something?
That was amazing.
You go from that outing, which was awful because the offense wasn't there. Kittredge didn't help the cause. And then the next day, first of all, the bats come to life finally for the Cubs. But then Kittredge.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Check out this true crime story. An IT manager came in on Monday, tried to log in and couldn't. A ransom message popped up. All company data, customer files, bank info, everything was locked. If they didn't pay $250,000 in Bitcoin, it would all be wiped. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your business with Thrive, America's leading managed security provider. Start with a free cyber risk assessment at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
This month at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Be here Fridays in August when one winner will be drawn every hour to win $1,000 from 4 to 7 p.m. Then on Friday, August 29th, starting at 4 p.m., one winner will be drawn every 30 minutes to win $500 in free play. At 7 p.m., 3 grand prize winners will be drawn to win either a 2025 Polaris Slingshot or up to $10,000 cash. Come to where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
1050 ESPN New York. The biggest names and the biggest games. WEPN New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and on ESPNU.
It is Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. Michelle Smallman, Victoria Arlen, Freddie Coleman, and Unsportsmanlike is brought to you by Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement, clinically tested, NSF certified, trusted by millions. Just go to Nutrafol.com for $10 off your first month and free shipping. And guys, before we dive into some NFL stuff here, I have a question for both of you. So I was watching the monitor here in the break, and Nicole Briscoe threw out the first pitch at the Cubs game because
cool.
SportsCenter 50 States in 50 Days was in Illinois yesterday.
Yes.
Have either of you thrown out a first pitch?
I've done it 4 different times.
I've done it twice.
4 different times.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're going to have to dive into that later. Maybe in our unsportsmanlike moments of the day. But we can't keep our next guest waiting.
Amen.
He's a Hall of Famer, for crying out loud. So we need to welcome him into the show. Jared Allen, 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee, joins Unsportsmanlike. Jared, thanks so much for taking the time to join us this morning. Has it settled in yet? When I say Hall of Famer, has it settled in that that's where you are right now in the history of the game?
Yeah, I think because we found out in February, so you got all that time to let that soak in. Obviously, Enshrinement Weekend is such a great celebration, such a great time, and it really puts it on display. But we got home and it was back to chores, pulling weeds, mowing lawns, kids got to school. So, life continues. Unfortunately, you don't get to celebrate every day.
Jared, what was it like putting on the yellow jacket?
Man, it's a cool experience. For me, it was a full circle moment because Coach Vermeil is who drafted me.
Wow.
So to have Coach Vermeil present me with my gold jacket was really cool. And so for me, that's what it's more about. It's more about the people. It's about the memories and those moments versus, what color the jacket is. I think Happy Gilmore put it best in that situation, right? But, it just, so for me, it was that moment of being able to come full circle with the coach that drafted me.
What would Hall of Famer Jared Allen tell 10-year-old Jared Allen growing up wanting to be a pro football player?
I wouldn't have to tell him anything because I told my dad when I was 8 I was going to play pro ball. That's all I wanted to do. If my dad's a big enough meat stick, he was like, "Let's get it," and maybe run every single day. My dad fought, he bought into that story hardcore, and so I wouldn't have to tell a 10-year-old nothing because I was already 2 years into my plan to make the NFL.
All right, hold on. Explain meat stick. I need to know what this is right now. What,
like a jock, like a typical jock, it's all about sports. Yeah, sorry.
I've heard meathead, never meat stick. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, meat stick.
I like that.
All the same things. So got to spice it up sometimes with a little different verbiage.
Well, Jared, we obviously know the end of the journey, which did result in you becoming a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But you talk about how you knew at a young age that this is what you wanted to do, that this would be the path. Was there ever a time when you were like, maybe it's not going to happen for me, where maybe you doubted yourself?
Never really doubted myself. There was times I wanted to quit for sure. When you have a dad that buys in like that as well, you get a lot of those good game but conversations growing up. And I think I was about 12 years old, and I was just kind of like burnt out on football already because you're already watching film. You're at it. I've been doing this since I was 8. There was a moment where I almost didn't play. I think my 12-year-old year. But I've always had great coaches, and I've always loved the game of football. And one thing, too, my dad's always been, we've always been able to say, "Hey, Dad, can we forget the father-son thing and talk man to man?" And so, I remember having that conversation with him, and he was like, "Listen, son, I don't care what you want to do, but you're a talented player. So, this is your dream. You got to keep chasing it." So that's about the only time, as far as wanting to, maybe quit just because, you feel you kind of get burnt out on it. But other than that, no, I was all in. I was just as big a meathead with these other players as everyone else. So I was full tilt. It was like, more football, the better for me.
Can you tell us about your time at Idaho State and how that was a turning point in your football career?
Yeah, Idaho State. So I had committed to the University of Washington. I thought that's where I was going, Pac-10. It's a very, very told story how, we took a bunch of yearbooks in high school thinking it was funny, and the school did not think it was as funny as we did, so I got kicked out of school. So lost scholarships and that kind of stuff. But Idaho State was great. Again, I've been blessed with insanely good coaches like Mark Ray, Larry Lewis. Mark Ray was a technician, when I was just getting by on Russian quarterbacks in high school off of pure, athleticism. He's the one that really started teaching me technique, and then coupled that with Bob Carmella, which when I got to the NFL he was insane. But Idaho State, man, honestly, we were just playing ball and having fun and thinking so, causing trouble, just typical nonsense. So getting in, going through that process there, playing football, trying to stay elevated at what they call, the 1AA level, which wasn't the highest level. So trying to make your mark there and just prove everybody wrong that small college guys can come out and still make an impact, just drove me. And then I learned a ton of life lessons there, you know what I mean? And I still talk to my coaches, was surrounded by great people. I'm one of those guys that's got to get, wrapped on the knuckles before I really learn. I tend to learn things the hard way as a kid. And so, Idaho State was great in that aspect where, I made mistakes while I was there as a person, but I had the right people around there to knock me back in place and then pick me up. So, what great experience. Great. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Jared Allen joining us here on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio with Michelle Smallman and Victoria Arlen. I'm Freddie Coleman. The one best thing I thought about your speech, because like you're a faithful man. And I love when you apply why to everything in your life with this quote. I apply this why to everything in my life, to my walk with Christ, to my marriage, to being a father, you name it, you got to have a why, end quote. When did that why really became prevalent for you to say, this is what I know I need to do to continue to be the best Jared Allen I can be, and that had nothing to do with football?
Yeah, those are those life lessons you learn always, right? I mean, I can go back to as a kid, as in your dad's checking you or your mom's checking you or the world checks you, growing up. But, I think a major turning point in my life was 2006. I got a couple DUIs in like 5 months because we were out just being meat sticks, just no real responsibility. It was just football and fun. That's all it was. And I needed to learn how to grow up. I needed to learn how to accept that responsibility just in society. And my grandfather, he called me up, and he told me, he said, I didn't take this name through 3 wars and multiple conflicts for you to F it up.
Wow.
And my grandfather was my biggest heroes. He was 23 years in the United States Marine Corps. He's no longer with us. And that resonated. And my pastor that's literally the same week. It was a strong week for me. My pastor in that same week, when your pastor curses at you, you pay attention. He said, "Listen, Jared, I know how you were raised. He's my pastor since I was a kid." Mm-hmm. And he said, the world's got enough a-holes in it. We need more moral heroes.
Wow.
And those two moments really resonated. Like, dude, you're just being immature. Like, I wasn't, nothing malicious, but you're immature. You're not living right. You're not living to the standard that you say in your heart that you believe in. And so that was the moment in my life where I was like, you know what? It's time to be the man. I know I am, and put that on display. And, when people ask what's one thing they don't know about you, being a Christian shouldn't be the first thing that pops in your mouth, And so that's when I just started making little changes in my life, and just trying to, really live out what the core belief in my heart was. And those are the 2 moments that had nothing to do with football, but made me so much better at football. I tell people all the time, when football became less on my priority list, I became so much better at it because all the distractions get taken care of.
I want to stick with the speech for a second, Jared, because as Freddie mentioned, in addition to sharing about your faith, you also really talked about your family and how your daughters, your wife, they're your greatest accomplishments. And that resonated with so many people. I know when I was watching and I watched your speech, I'm crying because I have an amazing girl dad. And I just thought it was so beautiful how you shared that with the world. What's it been like for you to see the response to your speech and have it really be nothing about football and everything about who you are as a father, a husband, and as a man?
Yeah, it's great, and to be honest, that was never the intent. So, I wanted to just, I think in that moment, we're in a world that is so I. You look at social media, all that crap and nonsense. I don't know how it works, but it's this whole narcissistic society we live in. So I just wanted to take that moment and express to others, that this journey was all about them, not necessarily just about me. And for me, that's obviously my family is my closest and my best gift in life. So I just wanted to so I was just speaking to them. I was just speaking to the ones in the crowd and, and stuff like that. It was never meant to be a broader message. And I'm always reminded about, go back to faith, God, the Bible says, look, don't worry about the words that come out of your mouth, right? I'll give them to you. Mm-hmm. So my words were just meant for obviously the people I was talking to. It was him that put it on other people's heart and had a greater impact. So that was never the intent. I think it's awesome because, again, I think we're in a place where so many people look at themselves as I, and don't realize that no matter what profession you're in, where you're at in life, it takes a village. And, in that moment, I just wanted to express my gratitude, what my true vision of what my legacy is and what my story is revolves around my family.
And Jared, when you look forward and you have so many players and people that are looking up to you now more than ever, what do you want that one message or that one thing to be that people remember and take away?
Authenticity. I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? You got to be you. You have to be whatever your authentic self. And again, a world of filters and nonsense. It's or everybody's trying to say the right thing, be politically correct, all that nonsense. At the end of the day, for me, I played football. I think that's why I resonate with the fans. I played football because I love football, and I just wanted the respect of my peers and the respect of those who came before me. And so for me, when people ask, what was my greatest things, I was authentic. I was authentic to myself, authentic to the game. You sit up there, you got to own your flaws, you got to own your great moments, all the whole thing. So for me, that's what I hope people take away is that, when they saw me play ball, that they just saw me, and that's how I live my life and all that stuff. So, and I think that's the greatest gift I could give people when they spend their money to, come watch you play a game for a living. You might as well have fun and be your true self out there.
Amen to that.
All right, last thing for Jared Allen, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Take us behind the scenes in Canton. What's one thing, one moment, one person you met, just something that happened when you were there getting inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame that made you go, wow, I cannot believe that this is happening right now?
Well, two things. One, everybody saw I split my pants. So that was
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
A little wardrobe malfunction.
You got caught up in the moment and realized those suit pants don't stretch like football pants. That's,
Nope.
Learn that lesson, kids. There you go. But I got to meet Mean Joe Green. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to me, and Richard Dent and stuff like that, man. I mean, to sit there and Mel Blount. I mean, the list goes on and on. But when Mean Joe Green came down, and I got to shake his hand, talk to him in the lobby at the hotel, and just sit there and be like, man, this is Mean Joe Green. And now we're looking at each other as if we're peers. Like, we're on the same team. Is the common theme everybody says, right? You're on the same team now. For me, that was one of those. This is super cool because. As a defensive player, as a defensive end, I mean, Mean Joe Green is the standard of just absolute violence and destruction. So that was a very cool moment for me.
I'm sure it was. Incredible stuff. Jared Allen, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Jared, it was wonderful speaking with you. Thank you so much for getting up early and taking the time with us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. You guys have a great day. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome. I can't even imagine what that would feel like to have someone that you've looked up to that is the standard in your craft. And now, as Jared Allen said, you're sitting there eye to eye with them as your peer. You're on the same team as someone that you have looked up to for so long.
I would not have been able to speak if I was in that situation, meeting someone that meant that much to you. Now, you're in the same building.
Yeah.
You're in the same Hall of Immortals.
The gas.
Yeah. Oh, the gas. Yes. The gas. No doubt about that. That would have been me.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No doubt. Freddie Coleman, Victoria Arlen, and Michelle Smallman. It's on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. And coming up next are 2 days in the NFL. Roll along. We're going to take a look at the New Orleans Saints. So keep it here on ESPN Radio.
I'm Randy Scott today on SC Plus, streaming exclusively on Disney Plus. A no-no gone oh-no.
Ends the no-hit bid with 1 out in the 9th inning.
A showstopper for the Dodgers.
The Dodgers make a mistake.
I discover a new island, all while Gary is too busy to join us. It's me, Randy Scott, today on SC Plus.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
September 2nd to ESPN Radio, The Rich Eisen Show.
Head coach of Notre Dame football, Marcus Freeman.
Doing great, Rich, man. Glad to be on the show.
From the New York Jets, he is Garrett Wilson.
And I'm doing well.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Gronk himself, Rob Gronkowski. Good to see you, Gronk. How are you?
Hey, Rich, man. Pleasure to be back on with you, Rich. You're the best.
Rich Eisen, coming September 2nd. Weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. These days, it feels like there's advice for everything. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. But how do you know what actually works for you? With the internet and information overload about mental health and wellness, it can be a struggle to know what's true and what actions to take these days. Using trusted resources and talking to live therapists can get you personalized recommendations and help to help you break through the noise. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. With an App Store rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client reviews. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
Stuck in traffic? Sure. Stuck with slow internet? Don't take slow for an answer. Switch to Optimum Fiber, the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state, starting at just $40 a month. And right now, get Optimum Mobile included free for 1 whole year. That's right, fiber fast internet and mobile, you're cruising now. Visit Optimum.com, call 888-4Optimum or swing by your local store. But hurry, this deal won't last.
The biggest names, the biggest games. They're all right here. This is 1050 ESPN, New York.